so much of their money. And there are people who have also come here, go to our handles, to also complain. Even in my inbox, I get people talk about, when you talk about the Governor Bello, the next minute is someone is coming to threaten your life. But today we'll hear more from the guests that we have. Joining me in the studio to take a look at these issues, I have a political scientist who is also a lecturer in Kogi State. He is Dr. Usman Ugu. Thank you very much for being on the program.
Thank you very much.
And I also have a politician who is here with us. He is Austin Onime. Austin Otene. Yeah. Otene, you're a member of the APC?
Oh, no. I'm a member of the Advanced People's Democratic Alliance, APDA.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now, let's hear from you. You saw the deputy governor and that woman complaining bitterly. What is going on in Kogi State?
Well, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. Honestly, it's very pathetic. It's shameful. It's disgusting that we should be experiencing what we are passing through today in Kogi State. I feel for that woman so much because she could be my mother. You see, this is no longer news in Kogi. When we say 39 months plus, you would see all the cosmetic stories up and down from the foot soldiers of this governor, telling lies, propaganda up and down that they pay salaries. I mean, we can hear from that woman. Now, if you look at the case of the deputy governor, isn't that shameful to Kogi State? As a people, I mean, we should feel so terrible that we have an irresponsible government, because for me, that is what...
you need to be careful the language you use.
Okay, because for me, that is what I think it is, because if you look at Kogi today, the position of the deputy governor has been reduced, have been so bastardized to the level of a clerk. And that is why, if you go to Kogi today, you won't find any signage of the deputy governor anywhere. All you see is that of the chief of staff and the governor. I mean, for me, I begin to ask myself, what kind of democracy are we running in Kogi State? Is the chief of staff, was he elected alongside the governor to be the now deputy governor? And if the deputy governor is telling you that he was not being paid and he's being owed 800 million, then what more do you think is happening to ordinary civil servants? This is a clear case of, for me, of misrule, a mismanagement, and an abuse of process. Now, I tell you something. Take a look at the issues we are discussing today. There is a 50.8 billion naira which is available. Now, we must tell ourselves...
What is the 50.8 billion naira for? Because I don't understand.
No, 50.8 billion naira was the bailout fund that was applied for by the immediate past governor of Kogi State, His Excellency, Captain Idris Wada. And why did he apply for this money? Because at some point, recall that, I mean, Kogi, we are one of the richest states in Nigeria, but I'll tell you why we are not rich.
Why do you think you are the richest?
Yeah, because
it's a confluence state.
No, yeah, it's a confluence state. We are a hub of about 8 states or more. And then the deposits beneath Kogi, the mineral resources, if we begin to tap into it, will become a mini London here in Nigeria. And I'll tell you why that is not happening, because of the exclusive list. That's in the Constitution. Anyway, let's leave that. And let's go back to the issue of the 50.8 billion. Now, at some point, like I said before, our allocation ranges between 2.8 billion to 3 billion naira.
Monthly?
Monthly, under Captain Idris Wada. And then, you know, this man, he served for 47 months. He paid salaries non-stop, uninterrupted for 45 months. The 2 months that was owed was as a result of the shortfall from FARC.
Are you here to campaign for you?
No, I'm not campaigning. I'm giving you a story.
Okay.
The story, you see, my father used to tell me, he said, there is no smoke without fire. So I'm telling you about how the 50.8 billion came. Okay. So at that point, you would find out that, so when the allocation came in from FARC, it was so, there was a shortfall. So salaries couldn't be paid in full. Immediately, the governor called Labour, Comrade Ono Edoka, and said, this is the situation. this is what I got. What do we do? What we have got now cannot go as a full salary to every worker. And then Labour said, keep the money, we trust you to keep the money, and when the next allocation comes, put them together, then pay us in full. But a man who has that empathy said, no, people have worked. Let's go ahead and pay whatever we can pay them so that they won't go home hungry. At that point, they have forecasted that if this continues, there's going to be a 2 months salaries that will not be paid. And so then the federal government came up with the bailout lending program. Now recall that Kogi State, as at the time, was owing, the loan exposure was just 800 million
Now,
naira.
to cut the long story short,
Yes.
was that money paid?
The money was paid in batches. The first was
to
20
this,
billion.
this government
Yes.
or Wada's government?
No, it wasn't paid to Wada's government because there was a conspiracy that he was going to use the money for politics.
Okay, I think I remember that the story then came
Yes.
up.
So, but what they did, as we speak today, there's election coming. And we are not talking about conspiracy now, but the money has been released. Now, there's a new 30.8 billion that has been released. So, tell me, in a sane society, for Christ's sake, should we be talking about salaries not being paid when you have 30.8 billion naira?
Okay, that's a question for you to also answer, or for him to answer. Now, doctor, you are a worker in Kogi. I think so. Do you have the same story that you have not been paid salaries?
Thank you very much, my sister, Joma. I think my brother here, my very good friend, Austin, I think he has helped us with a lot of job, and it should be scientific in this code. When you hear issues about non-payment of salaries, yes, it do exist until lately.
Lately?
Yes, I will
Not
explain.
as if he didn't pay.
No, it do exist, the non-payment of salary in Kogi State. And it's something that predates the current administration, if I may judge what Austin explained.
Yes.
Which means it started with
From Wada.
Wada. Am I correct?
Yes.
Fine. So, which means it was not the invention of Governor Yaya Bello, right? That inherited the problem. Fine. Like he rightly says, Governor Wada, former Governor Wada, even applied about 80 billion naira, not even 50.8 as he said. It was 50.8 that was approved for him.
For him, yes.
Okay? So it tells you that there are serious problems surrounding issue of salary
In Kogi State.
in Kogi State.
That not necessarily with Bello.
With Bello. Starting with Wada.
Have you been paid?
Yes, I have been paid up to date.
You've been paid up to date.
Exactly. No,
They are not owing you.
the governor is not owing me.
Are you saying the fact? Because we have
Okay,
so many
can you
reports.
put a call to any? I work with the Kogi State University. I said I have been paid my July salary.
That's a miracle.
It's not a miracle.
According to what some persons are saying.
See, listen, my sister. See, why would I come to a national television and tell lie?
Okay.
I said I had been paid. See, the governor, let me tell you something. They have used this issue of salary, non-payment of salary, as a political tool to weigh him down so much. Even as it's something that he inherited. Like I've mentioned to you. Fine. I will talk to about the issue of the deputy governor. That is another leg to it. When the governor was working for the release of the balance of this 30.8 billion naira to the state, are you aware that some core guys were working against him that the money should not be released to him?
Really?
Sure. These are verifiable facts. Two, that when this money came, these same people, the naysayers, they say, he was not going to pay salary. I was paid March, April, May, June, and July.
6 months.
No, 5 months.
5 months. Once.
Yes.
So what happened? Why is that woman still complaining that she has not?
Yes,
been
I think I'm interested in knowing
Who
the
she
ministry, whether it was working with the local government or any ministry. I'm interested in knowing that specific.
So
thing.
when did they pay you the salary?
This month.
They paid you the 5 months
Yes.
this month.
Yes.
And
it was as a result of the bailout, the 30.
How much were they owing before they paid you that?
Yes, 5 months.
They were just owing you just 5 months.
Yes.
What about the protests? We also took some protests that workers protested in Kogi as
In Kogi State.
Yes, that they were
Well,
owing them
let me
so much salary.
The people that were protesting were the people at the local government, and the people tend to misrepresent this. There was this perception that yes, that allocations to local government had come, and there was connivance somewhere that they were going to make deductions, and instead of paying them full as directed. Do you understand? It was just, that's why I said all those things are political tools. It was not, but the people, my wife worked with the local government.
She has been paid?
Full.
So you are saying now that Yahya Bello is not owing workers in Kogi State?
See, I said he has paid salary. Those of us who are working with the universities and tertiary institutions and the state government, they have been paid full.
Anyway, we are opening up
our... You understand? That is
hold
one.
on.
Number
hold on.
two,
we are,
I said local government too
I'll
have also been paid full.
I'll come back to you. The Twitter handles are open for you to be part of this discussion. I would like the Kogi people to also send in their messages. Let's have their own statement too. If you know you have been paid as a worker, let's know. If you have not been paid, it is time to do a check according to him that is a verifiable fact. Yes. Let's verify those facts. Yes. You can drop your message on my Twitter handle at EJ or Samo, or you can drop your message on Democracy #2 Day with a double Y. We'll take the message if we can, take all the messages, but we'll take a look at that.
Let me take the second
Don't worry,
leg.
let him just finish.
Let me take the second leg. That the deputy governor said he had not been paid since 2017, he had not been paid his arrears and so on and so forth. My sister, that's why I said this has serious political leg. You may look at it that, oh, the whole deputy governor had not been paid for since 2017. What must have went wrong? The information we have is that the deputy governor had been paid his salary up to date.
The information you have.
Excuse me. The only areas.
Let's be clear with this. The information you have.
Listen,
because the man came on air.
He talked about allowances.
The fact that you are saying you are not lying, you cannot also say the man is not lying.
I'm coming. He talked about allowances. And when you are talking about allowances, my sister, who approved that? He approved for himself. You have two principal in Kogi State. So, it means if you are traveling to anywhere, you must obtain approval. So, let me be sincere with you. There's a love lost between the governor and the deputy governor.
So that is why it is.
And that is why. So, if you are not in good terms with the deputy governor, with your principal, how do you obtain approval? Probably you have not gotten approval for all those traveling that you have made, and that is why you would expect that it should be paid.
The deputy governor. Hold on, doctor. Hold on.
Yes.
A deputy governor.
Yes.
Will go on national television. AIT was not the only one there to go tell you that he has not been paid, and you are saying he is the one that approved it by himself.
Are you sure?
Are you sure this is true?
That's why I said, allow me to land.
I've given, because I have another person in the studio.
Yes, that's where I'm going. See, let me tell you this. The deputy governor with the governor, they had not been on the same page. And you should expect that. If you are talking about the issue of allowances that the deputy governor had not been paid, he had been paid. Like Austin had rightly mentioned that in Kogi State that you don't hear whether the deputy governor is there or whatsoever. That even during the last two elections, you don't see the deputy governor with them. There are insinuations that he was working for PDP. That's what has been there. So that is another.
Is that the reason?
That is why I said that they are not in good.
From what you have said,
talk about payment of allowances or no.
Can I interject?
I will let you have your way.
Yes.
Doctor.
Yes.
So if I say, or any other person say, because they have lost love, the both of them, that's why Governor Yahya Bello is attacking him.
It's not attacking.
No, I'm asking a question.
But that's what you just said.
No. Because that's from your statement.
You should allow me to learn. And that's why I say, if you want to know whether this man had been paid or not paid, we should look at what went wrong between the deputy governor and the governor. That is number one. Number two, you understand? So, number two, you should look at it is that this governor the deputy governor had enjoyed a lot of goodwill
what goodwill?
Okay, well, let's come back to you.
Come on, Mr. Ugbo. Honestly, I do think that we should be objective when we speak on very, very pertinent issues as this. One, you see, for you to say on a national television that because there is love lost between the deputy governor and his boss, that should be the reason why he should be subjected to this kind of treatment. It's alarming. Honestly, it is alarming. And let me tell you something again. You see, I want to ask you a question. The 50.8 billion naira that was approved, was it Yaya Bello's idea? Answer is definitely no. So it was not for the problem he has created in the state. The former governor had his program and his plan before he applied for that money. But today, that money is not being used for its intended purposes. Anyway, that's on one side. And then I'd like to talk about, when we talk about salaries, we're looking at both the state government and the local government. Now, the local government, as we speak, I have it on my phone. Somebody sent me his alert for 3 months. And I asked him, because I do not know what his basic is. So I asked him, I said, how much percentage was paid? He said, my brother, this is 65%. And I said, why 65%? He said, that's what they have been saying. And they have paid out of 18 months that is being owed, they just paid only 3 months. Now, also, you see, state government salaries, when he talked about Governor Yaya Bello inheriting deficit as per salary issues, it's not completely correct. It is not correct. Now, the thing is this. For Governor Wada, what he owed was 2 months. And I told you the reason why it happened.
3 months.
So, 2 months, not 3. The other month, he was already out of office when the allocation came, so it was not his responsibility. And that was for state workers. Now, for local government, let me tell you one impressive thing. Governor Idris Wada was not interfering with local government funds. You see what the federal government is doing today with the NFIU thing started already with Captain Idris Wada.
Okay.
He never tampered with local government funds for 1 day. So what that means is that local government was in charge, responsible for payment of salary. And like he said, I agree with him. You see, this issue of percentage salaries didn't start with WADA for local government. But recall, I told you before that WADA was not in charge. He was not paying local government salaries. Local government were in charge of the salaries. So this has been, but he saw that this problem must be solved. It was part of the reason he applied for that 50.8 billion.
Now let's look at what he said about the deputy governor. Because from his language now, it seems the deputy governor is allocating to himself whatever he wants, allowances that he wants, traveling and all that.
Can I
but
tell
I think
can I see this is they are cosmetic statements to please their paymasters. I'll tell you something. Do you know the deputy governor, electricity to his office was cut?
Really?
Water to his office was cut. Where does that happen in a democracy, for Christ's sake? I mean, I'm so pained in my spirit. You know why? Because in a sane society, there will be serious litigation. And this is why I have serious problem with the immunity clause in our constitution. Because you shouldn't be doing that to a deputy governor. It's not, I mean, come on, what are we talking about? So what he's talking about now is just trying, I mean, we know what happened in Kogi. Look at this man sitting here, with very due respect. He has not been paid completely. He's just lying.
Well, that will take me to the Twitter handle. Let me take one or two messages. Wait, this man is at Ibrut. The name is Omar. He said, I work with Kogi local government. Only a few days ago, I got 40% of my salary out of 17 months owing me.
That's it.
Then Sammy Obot said, this man on cap, Sha. And then another one coming from Onekwojo Suli. He said, your guest with cap is misrepresenting the truth. He is an appointee worker of KSU. He sold that KSU, that's the ASU, for government patronage. Then Jibri Siaka has a good evening, and thanks for hosting this very good and interesting. Thank you too for watching. Sonny said, I am not surprised at doctor's position. He is one of the people the CSO brought to university to replace the lecturer is sacked simply because they went on strike. He's a political lecturer. My father is a civil servant and has not been paid for 2 years too. Then this one, I will let you answer when I finish. Lanre is saying, it could be that only 2% of Kogi civil servants has been paid full salaries. Please, that doctor is economical with the truth.
Fine. So let me just explain to you.
He has a tough job.
No, stop interjecting. Like as I said, those of us who are working with the ministry and working with the parastatals at the state level, I said we have been paid fully. And
so
I say,
the
repeat
governor
that.
is not owing.
Yes. Up as at July.
So what do you have to say about this man who says the father
that,
is working?
That is the, see, my sister, can we stop maybe looking at what I called a hearsay evidence? I drove all the way from Mayangba down here. I don't know when last Austin visited Kogi State. So do you understand what I'm saying?
Last week.
So excuse me. So when I'm talking with facts. And this, see, these days we should encourage what we call investigative journalism. You understand?
So you feel
I'm
that
coming.
no,
Beyond,
hold on, please, because you are giving me a slap right here in my face.
No,
you
I'm
feel I
coming.
didn't investigate
No,
enough,
see,
and I had you to come from Kogi
I
because
want to
of that
tell you,
woman.
See, I want to tell you,
Doctor,
my sister,
doctor, wait.
Doctor, Ijoma, can you allow me to land?
I will allow you land until I land. Allow me land.
Are you
too.
people flying?
Wait,
Madam, can I just chip in something? Just one.
Media.
Doctor, somebody came to
Can I
this
chip in
office.
something for 1 minute?
I will let you talk. Somebody came to this office with a protest. The woman met me. I refused to grant her. I refused to listen to her because it was already time for my program. She gave me my life history for not listening to her. When I came out and I heard that our new coordinator news asked that she be interviewed. But he said somebody has to be in the studio to counter that interview. So we have a balance. And you think we are not doing enough investigative journalism?
Can I chip in something?
Can I chip
in something for one minute?
Allow me to have my space.
Go ahead.
See, like I mentioned, salary as because of this 30.8 billion naira that was received by the state government. I said people had been receiving salaries. Okay, and that's what I still repeat. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. That the idea that he said that they have not been paying salary, it is not true. That, let me tell you, people are not, some the politicians are not even happy that this salary is being paid by this government.
Sorry, let me, sorry.
Hold on, we don't have so much time. Let him too. I will also let you.
You are just giving the statistics.
Go ahead.
You are here to
Mr. Obo, can you just listen for 1 minute?
Why don't you just go ahead?
More salary.
No, I don't. I can't be rowdy.
Doctor, I'm giving you
calm down.
Doctor, I am giving you.
No, you need to calm down. I mean, we're on national television. I need to tell you. You see, the thing is,
you are not working with the state government. I work with the state government, and I'm telling you the truth.
Can you just listen for a minute, please?
Okay.
Well, let me tell you something. I do not need to reside in Kogi to get information of what is happening for your information. And you see, when we go about talking about salaries, my sister, salaries is one of the plenty problems of Kogi State.
Great.
The university where this man works, let me ask him a question. Since the inception of this government, which you criticized from the beginning.
Correct. I'm happy you are drawing to the reach.
You criticized, and we know why you swapped.
Yes.
You swapped because of benefits.
Great.
You're telling that to his face.
That's what I wrote a book called The Chronicles of Grassroots Politics.
Don't worry, let's
and
go
now,
go ahead,
in that book, it is what the kind of, lifestyle they live is what I call the politics of convenience. If it does not suit them, we can't play game, right? Now, that university, since the inception of this government, has there been any infrastructural development apart from the one Abubakar Audu, Ibrahim Idris, and Wada did? Answer is no. Now, wait a minute. Wait.
It's a question to me.
Gentlemen, we have limited time. We'll still be running
Okay,
up.
so
listen.
I'm running up in 30 seconds.
Let me
let him round up. He said 30
You
seconds.
don't want, that means you don't want to talk.
Okay.
So go ahead. Your 30 seconds is counting.
That's now. Okay.
Your 30 seconds is counting. You have 15 seconds.
Oh, no. Okay, see now. Let me round up with this. You see, the university today, our clinical students are scattered all over the country. It's a shame. You know why? Because the college...
Allow him land. Allow him land, please.
The teaching hospital that was started by Governor Idris Wada today has been abandoned by his successor, Governor Yabelu. And
started at what percentage?
The thing is this. As I speak to you today, there is no college of medicine in Kogi State University. Infrastructural development decay is alarming.
Okay, sorry.
And so when we talk about salary, let us not play deaf to the pressing issues. Yes.
So you have a minute to go.
So I'm happy you mentioned about other issues and you brought it to my domain, which is the Kogi State University. Let me tell you, anytime I speak, I say I speak authoritatively. It's not a social media issue. I'm a member of governing council of that university. As I speak to you, not less than 21 projects are ongoing in that university.
Is the college of medicine working?
Do you admit this?
I can't admit a vague statement. That is politically massaged.
Governor Wada started White Elephant project, and that he abandoned even before he left office.
So the teaching hospital is a White Elephant project,
and
you say?
That is why I said he abandoned it himself.
Gentlemen, I
hope you are aware that Governor Wada said he regrets.
No.
Thank you very much.
This is propaganda.
Gentlemen,
this is propaganda.
Gentlemen,
get your facts.
Gentlemen, we are out of time.
Go home. Come to Kogi State.
We are out of time. Sorry, please. Mr. Austin. Dr. Usman. We are out of time. Thank you, gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on the show. This Kogi issue is one issue will continue. By August, most of the political parties will be having their party primaries to choose who becomes the flag bearer of the party. When we come again to discuss Kogi, we will let you know how many of them are aspirants in each of the political parties, and then we'll wait for what happens during the primaries. But before we just go, let me just take these few ones. This is coming from Oyin Wosu. I need to take this. Please, is that doctor working in Kogi government house? How can he claim that the deputy governor owned allowances was a result of non-approval by the governor? Well, that's... No, I have signed you off. I am taking messages. The Ekele Atadogwa, he said the Kogi issue is pathetic, and any attempt by Dr. Paul to defend Bello, it's shameful and unfortunate. We have never had it so bad. And Olaruwaju says, tell that man in cap to swear he is an enemy of the masses. And then Bayo is saying, my mommy is still owned. Listen, Bayo says, my mommy is still owned 15 months and she's a state worker. My father is a local government worker and is being paid percentage. The doctor in cap is not saying the truth. Then Gabriel Achimogu, the man in cap, is lying. He tricked me. He said, good evening. 2 months ago, I have 2 men who painfully complained of receiving 7,000 naira as salary as a student. I had to help one pay his school fees. Doctor isn't being honest and wants to discredit all of us because we are on social media. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. That's the more. Okay, let me just take this last one. This last one is coming from Buzirondu Harry. I think that man with a cap is not being sincere. Please don't reveal the workplace of the woman that came to protest at AIC. Thank you very much. That's how we say thank you for being a part. Follow me on my handle at EJ or Samo. Good night.